Welcome back to the channel, team. My name's Jono. We're continuing to turbo my 3RZ today. It's been a bit of a break because we've had to move house, so she's in a fresh new location and it's outside in the cold, so we'll deal with that. But first of all, we have a problem to deal with that we found out last time, which is the fact of my wastegate colliding with my brake lines. So today we're going to be dealing with that, the master cylinder, the ABS system, and then starting to get that hot side in place to start running some water lines. Finally, we're going to make some progress. So here we have my wastegate. It's a TurboSmart hypergate 45, so it should be plenty enough for the kind of big 3RZ engine, the 2.7 litre. The problem with it is it's a big wastegate, and the way my 6 boost is mounted means that the wastegate itself is pretty much jammed right underneath there and just completely colliding with my ABS lines to the rear and to the front, and the module there. So that's all got to come out, no other way about it. So today we're going to rip this out. I have to replace my master cylinder. We're going to be doing a rear diff conversion, so we're going to put a KZJ95 rear end in there. So I got disc brakes. To have disc brakes, I need to get rid of this master cylinder because this is designed for drum brake rears, and swap that out with the KZJ one. So that should give me enough room to fit my hypergate in there as we bend some lines out of the way. So nothing else to do but kick into it. So this is going to be the fiddly part. Here's my new Prado Master. If this all works, this is going to be like just brilliant. So we'll just set him in place for the moment. Don't worry, I will get a gasket, but right now it's just going to have to be, oops, if I can actually get it in the hole, low. It's just going to sit there for the moment so we can sort of line everything up. I think we've got to put the rear into the front one here, and then we'll tee this back one into a T so that it can be split to the both front end. Now this knowledge is based on one video I found online of one guy who's done the same thing I have but on a Land Cruiser 80 series, and so hopefully the cylinders are the same. I guess we'll find out once I get a brake and we'll see what happens. But so we'll try and loop this rear one up and over to get it nicely into there, and these two ones to sort of a reasonable location that we can then tee into, which also I need to go buy a T. So let's give this a shot, see how it goes. So there's the rear end. We'll need to find a T to be able to tee the front, so that'll be a run to Repco today and see if they can supply something somehow, some way. Now we have this lovely big clear space that we can finally jam our big ass turbo into. Exciting. Now the turbo runs off oil, it needs oil of course. I'm going to tap into the top end here of my oil filter. I've already got the nuts and M18 in there, and we're going to take that out with an adapter that will take it to a NPT thread. Then jam our turbo on the side and start running some oil lines. So inside my gigantic box of parts here, we have got the Haltech, the big mother, basically the brain of the entire unit that's going in there. Mad excited about that. We've got all sorts of bits and pieces here that need to go into the truck. We've got new fuel pump to go in there, wiring, but I'm trying to get down to the point where I can get to my bag of random goodies. Turboing the truck has definitely got a lot more fiddlier parts than I expected. Here we go. So we haven't, that's the one you want. That will be able to basically adapt the M18 of the oil into the 1/8 MPT reducer. This came in a Kinugawa kit for a GT30. We're going to tap that into the 1/8 MPT reducer into the M18 oil socket, and then that is going to be our oil feed up to the turbo. There's a turbo feed, time for a gasket and manifold really. Gasket in, time for a manifold. It's a bit of a beast, this thing. We'll only temporarily fit this, I still got to take it off to be able to run that water drain from the turbo. So we will get into that You take the diff out for that, that kind of sucks. But let's just line everything else up. Because the big important one I got to try and get done today is the water feed for the turbo. If you haven't seen it, it's beautifully, whoops, my bad. We didn't need that though. I'm making it worse, aren't I? It's beautifully over the top. I kind of thought, you know, it's kind of just the petrol version of a KZ engine. I thought it would probably be about a KZ size turbo I need. Turns out no. I need something that they see sort of bolted on the side of a bloody 1J or a 2J. So let's see how this bad boy fits. Oh hell yeah. I'll just chuck a couple bolts in just to make sure she doesn't go moving on me. By bolts I mean nuts. Beautiful. Hell yes. So that is just looking beautiful. So happy. That's cool. I can't get over that. Whee. Right. Water though is the big major one. Go around the side. Here, over here, over here. Might be a little bit difficult to see, but we have our water pump coming right in the front here. At the back of the water pump is a steel line. There's a steel line that runs along the base here and would tee up to go straight into that one, which I've rotated around, into the heater. I'm instead going to cut it off short. Let's show you a bit better. I'm instead going to cut it off short, use that to go the length, and then a steel braided one will join it to come into the feed, with the drain going back out up into here again. So all in behind there, that'll go straight from the water pump through the turbo into the heater. So I've talked to you about basically breaking it down that it's going to be coming straight out of the back of the water pump to what would be the heater. We're going to turn it off there, go to the turbo, back into the heater. To do so, I'm kind of reusing most of the original and some of this Kunagawa kit and a few speed flow parts. To break it down here, basically from the water pump, we're going to have to be going into a pipe adapter into these steel braided lines. So water is going to be coming in from that end, from the pump end into here. This is going to be going into the turbo. To pull this off on the awkward angles we've got, I've decided to just go down the route of using a -6 female to male 90. This one is the M18 to a -6 male. So how this is going to work is pretty simple, kind of. It's probably easier ways to do this, but this is just how I went about it. We're going to use that 90 onto the top of that M18 adapter. We're going to thread them in and then have our water lines coming in to the top of them with that going into the turbo. That should be our water to and from. Pretty easy. And I've just got a little spacer kit that we can use just to sort of keep the lines tidy. So all in all, pretty cruisy. Let's start that and see if we hit any troubles, because it's probably going to happen. Here we are. We got that one's going to be coming in from the rear. I'll 90 it there and join it into this one, which will be coming from here. So I need a longer piece of hose and a 90. That's going to be going in. It's going to be coming out our other 90 down here, dropping down, looping underneath the turbo up to here. We will then have another 90. We'll go from here along, and then either just a long piece of hose with a bend or a 90 to then get it into this one here. And that's going to be our water system. Nice. Rightio, where are we at? What have we done? We have, oh, not a lot actually. Fuel regulator, not done. Fuel pressure gauge, not done. Fuel lines, not done. Replace gaskets, yeah, it's done. Oil feed tap, and we've done the oil feed. Oil pan return line, I need to take the diff out to get the pan off, to send that away to get welded. So no. Oil filter, no, I'll do that near the end. Drive shaft hoop, haven't done. V-band welded to wastegate, done that. Exhaust manifold is on. Mount the turbo is done. Mount the wastegate, not yet. Oil feed installed, yes. Oil drain, no. Vacuum lines, wire in the boost solenoid, no. Wire in boost gauge, wire in AFR, intercooler, downpipe. Okay, so we tapped off a few more things. We've got a few more things to do. We might move on to the fuel side for the next episode. Start focusing on that before the intake can go back. Oh no, I can't. I need to finish his water lines. Looks like I'm going to the shop. We'll see you again in 5 minutes after I've bought some parts. Bye-bye now. So we're back. It's taken a good amount of research to try and find a way to make those heater hoses work. In short, they don't. So I'm a bit annoyed I cut that hose in half early because now I need to buy a new hose. But I'm pretty sure I've made it work. These are the ones that came in the kit. They're 300mm long, but they're for the Kinugawa kit. They're the water feed lines. So I might as well stick with what I got because it's going to be working fine. I've clocked the turbo in the actual correct position now. So my oil feed is going from the top out the drain at the bottom rather than on a 45 like it was. And now we're going to basically run a 300 off a 90-degree angle, 300 straight following along the block, to then another 300 off a 90 at the back end there to loop it around behind the engine bay. That's cool. I've ordered another 600mm one that will basically come out from the other side and just loop straight up and over and behind all this, and they'll both pop out that far end there. My throttle body has coolant running through it, apparently to heat it, not cool it, which kind of makes sense. And I was about to rip them out and just cancel that, but then someone on the forums posted up saying, well, if you're planning to run it in the snow, keep them in there because the heat, helps it run in a cold start. So they're staying there. I'm going to tap into those lines instead, which are a 5/16 barb, so a far easier bloody size to deal with, and then it should be all good. However, those parts are on order, so we are sitting pretty for a couple days. Woohoo! But we've gotten huge progress. I feel a lot healthier with this now. Should be wicked. So we will catch you in the next one. Cheers, team.